Okay, so we will proceed now to our roundtable, and we will be brainstorming and discussing, and of course, this will bring us to the closing of our e-Congress. I will post the questions in the chat, and I will go through them individually. The theme is, what is integrality? Let me post this real quickly. Here we go. The theme is, what is integrality in nature and how should it be implemented in society? So each speaker may answer the question generally or specifically. The first question is, what is an integral family? Thank you. Let's start with, I'm not sure who's still with us here. I think our first speaker was Professor Hachaturian. If she would like to comment on number one. You were muted.
Включить. Меня слышно? Нет?
Yes, we can hear you. Да.
Спасибо. Я думаю, что вопрос о семье – это, конечно, очень актуальный вопрос в нынешнее время.
I think it's a very actual question for the family.
If I have translator, no?
Yes, yes.
Translator.
Yes, you have translation.
Я думаю, что гармоничные отношения.
I think that harmonious relationship between man and woman
уже названы в Библии, что это единая.
It's already from biblical. It's one spirit and one mass that creates a harmony. Even though in our corporeal world this harmonious relationship is rare, we don't see that harmony in the family. The family gets destroyed. The sociologists say that. Nevertheless, there's a question. Is this harmony possible? I think yes. I think every one of us experienced that harmony in life. And I think this harmony in this time, we can create ourselves. We're capable, if we have a desire, create unity in the family. If we have a certain methodology, how to do that. I think people are ready for that. How to create those relationships. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think it would be great as we answer all of these questions in the roundtable that we maybe go in the same order as how we presented. So the next speaker that we had was Dr. Leah Madler, if she is here, and then after that, Professor Krasnov, then Ernest, then Dr. Angelov. We'll go in that order. The next question is, what does the integral school look like? What does the integral school look like? I'm sorry. we didn't hear from the other presenters on the first question, so let me return to the first question. So the first question again was, what is an integral family? Dr. Mandler is here? No? Dr. Krasnov? Ernest?
Ernest is here. At this time, I will be very, very slow, but not for integral family. That is the one place that you feel everybody, not from outside, but in your heart. That you care about every person that you see around you, same like you would like to care yourself. If you'd like to treat somebody and you would like to feel better, you feel good and you will feel happy, make sure that everybody else around you has exactly the same feeling. But everybody, your environment and your closest, farthest circle, because all of us, we are one. It's clear, especially now after the corona, the whole world become one and we feel it big time. It's important for us that everybody else will be treated in the same way and everybody feel and take care about each other and consider each other not less important than yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very simple. Look at the screen right now. The IWRI Institute is the integral family. That's it.
Thank you so much. Question number 2. What does the integral school look like? Professor? Professor Hachaturian, would you like to go?
Professor Hachaturian.
Sorry, I'm not.
Thank you. Ernest?
We can also ask people from audience. We have many educators. Yesterday we have had few very nice reports from them. So maybe Carrie or Karen can add here some ideas.
Well, it's the question is about an integral school. It's really it's a little bit challenging to answer this question on the spot. We've been talking and talking and talking about this for months and, well, even years. It's a vast topic, and especially now we've entered virtual education, and this is new to every educator. Really, you know, full-time education virtually, and not, I mean, there are virtual education systems that have already existed, but they're sort of for individual study. But now we're talking about integral education, where there are social processes and kind of new technologies for that. It's a question that I think needs to be explored, but you know, all of the presentations that were given here about, you know, the need, for example, Professor Krasnov's lecture about the need to satisfy this really burning human need now for fulfillment, for meaning of life, and then the integral education that can only be fulfilled through an integral education, which again now we're talking about providing it in the virtual space, possibly through new methods of education such as games, for example, which the young generation is already living in, and the educators need to sort of catch up to the young generation. I think the young generation is more integral maybe by their nature, and they can help us discover what this is. If anyone would like to continue.
If possible, I would like to add on. I would see that the integral school today, it should be core values of human connection, of the connection between people. If you are talking about roundtable workshops, rules of roundtable workshops, how to build connection circles, how to talk with each other, listen to each other, comprehend each other, contribute and help each other to come up with something common versus separate, that's exactly what we should teach. And it actually applies to all levels of humanity, from the kindergarten, okay, up to the senior homes. It's for everybody. And this methodology should be taught as mandatory training, mandatory education everywhere for the person that is today unemployed up to the top president of the whole world. It will take time. It's not one day, but slowly but surely get the people used, mostly the soft skills that mostly ignored in vast majority of the industries, that we need the hard skill. Do your job or you are not doing your job. But we are coming to the point to allocate the time for training education and then teach and allow the environment that people start to work together and feel each other. This is exactly what we need at all levels and all disciplines. Thank you.
It has to be mutually important for the people who wants to get this education and for the people who want to provide this education. If we don't get to this point of connection between people who provide and people who needs this, we will not go anywhere. So that's integral.
Могу добавить.
I can add.
К тому, что сказано, что такое интегральное образование.
What is
Простой
integral
вопрос,
education?
потому что
Simple question.
сегодня вся система,
Because
она
today the whole system,
интегрирована. И
it's
она
integral,
интегрирована по целям,
and it's not integral
участникам,
for the goal,
по
for the people who
процессу и
participate,
так далее.
the process, and so on.
Воспитание
Integral education. First of all, we need to introduce a child to integral society. That's child's understanding what world the child lives in and what world they want to live. It is harmonizing, including goal and the behavior and the results that they want to see. Education, it's a different level. They need integration. First of all, the relationship between the participant and the relationship. The first of all, teachers. They should establish the goals, how to reach that integral relationship. And the children will be participating fully. Communication process. In all that chain, we need to reach full understanding what each element, how each element sees itself there. Integration is a necessary process, and we should reach unity in this process, how we see the world tomorrow. Thank you.
Если можно, я тоже скажу несколько слов.
Professor Hachituran would like to say a few words. I would like to say that it's very important. It's a relationship between different objects. It is a very vulnerable place today. The consciousness of pupils and students, all objects perceived as a separate object that's not harmonized and not included in one object. I think, first of all, we need to establish connection between different subjects in school, in college and universities. So the child and student, so they would see the cohesiveness in the world. It is a connection between different subjects and the subjects in class. That cohesiveness should help. It would develop logical thinking, analytical abilities. It is very important. And they need to learn how to establish the cause and reason and the consequence. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I believe Dr. Ahanonu would like to say something.
Yes, thank you so much, Alena, for the opportunity. An integral school, in my opinion, will be just like we are now. Different cultures, different religious background, different languages, and we come together and say we are equal and we contribute equally. For example, we have 30 people here. Maybe we can ask everyone here to contribute, not only a professor and a student, to see how it goes. I would like maybe Gottfried, if he can contribute something from Africa. Thank you. Gottfried?
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Karachi. And a new school, integral, is where the hearts of the people are connected. It's where love becomes the hub that connects all cultures, connects all people, all works. Where love becomes the healing instrument. It is only through this united common goal of supporting one another that is where the new school begins. Begins with love and it ends with love. The goal is equal connection, that we are all one big family and we care for each other. That's the curriculum we want to use for the new school, where the head respects the ordinary laborer. The laborer respects the head. Mutual guarantee assured. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Would anybody else like to make a comment on the integral education in schools? Okay. The next question is, what is integrality in economy and business, politics, and social management? What is integrality in economy and business, politics, and social management? Thank you.
Начну. Я хочу сказать, что это
like
то же
to
самое,
say
что интегральность в образовании.
It's the same as the
И
integral
об этом уже
education.
хорошо сказал и Эрнест Ицкович,
Ernest said
и
very good about it.
Краснов Владимир.
And
Об
then
этом
Vladimir
говорил
Krasnov, he was talking about it.
врач. Забыла фамилию.
A doctor.
Ангелов Саша.
Oh, Angela.
Александр.
Alexander
Об
Angela.
этом шла речь. Речь
were
только о
talking
том,
about
чтобы
it.
правильно связать
To
участников процесса.
correctly integrate
Поэтому,
the
если мы
participants in the
достигнем такого
process.
общего видения
So if
цели
we
все-таки
achieve that common
достижения
vision,
общих,
common goals, common benefit,
вот здесь вот точка переворота. Если мы
this is the pivotal
достигнем такого
point.
понимания,
If we achieve that understanding in
я
the
думаю,
relationship,
тогда эта цель
then I
реализуется
think
достаточно быстро.
then that
Потому
goal
что
will
мир
realize very
готов к
quickly
этому.
because the world is ready for
И
it, ready.
масса людей, которые сегодня
And the
осталась
vast
уже в
majority of
отрыве
people
своих традиционных
when they don't experience life the same way anymore. They don't understand how to live in the future. How to understand those reforms and new ideas. We need to help them to change the relationship between them, to adapt them to a new reality. And then we'll see that we're united in reality. And that would be the turning point. Thank you.
Go ahead, Ernest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Valentina. Actually, I would like to continue exactly to the same direction. Actually, I believe that is the opportunity maybe to give a huge compliment to Professor Ephraim Eliav and to all the friends and everybody who's connected here for this beautiful idea and the initiative and the effort that they put together, the Kelechi, that already like a breakthroughs like for centuries ahead, okay, might open to have the first IWRI branch in Czechoslovakia, that we are actually, we are the change. We are making the change right here and right now. The main goal what we have to do exactly is that already the IWRI is already structured, that these teams, that we have the scientific team, we have the education team, we have the different levels in the different small groups to start to create our curriculum, our training programs, our presentation, and our promotion materials. Most important, that this simple letter that we spoke about it to mention before, as a result of this conference, just to post it when it will be ready, will be prepared, will be reviewed, will be approved, send it everywhere. Post it on your Facebook, post it on your LinkedIn, post it everywhere you can. The summary of this and the presentations and the recordings of everything, post it everywhere. Trust my word that somebody will see it and find it, and that is actually, we are starting the real implementation, what we did so far. The effort that the friends and all the scientists and all the people put here together, it's huge effort. Bear in mind, it's everything on our initiative, on our time, on our volunteering spirit, and the most important, to bring good for humanity. And by the end of the day, once the people start to feel that here is the change, here is the secret of this internal connection among us, but it must be visible. It must be advertised, it must be promoted, and by marketed, you can call it dissemination. It doesn't matter how you're going to call it. Most important, it will reach out for everybody. Let's make it together, we will succeed together. Thank you so much. Great job.
Would anybody else like to offer? Okay. We do encourage people on Facebook and YouTube to ask their questions, and we have people who are forwarding them to us, so we will try to address them. Akeem was here yesterday. He had a question we couldn't get to, so we will get to that as well if he would like that. We will definitely address that. The next round table question is, how should conflicts and crises be solved in the integral society? How should conflicts and crises be solved in the integral society? Thank you. Thank you, Ernest.
Really, I don't want to jump first, but I see not too much people jumping to respond, but somebody has to start. Sorry.
Sorry. Slow, please. Slow.
Conflicts and crises actually generated, they are coming from somewhere. Okay, you know, in engineering, okay, in typical engineering, I just wrote an article yesterday. By the way, during this Corona times, I prepared more than 50 articles, 50 articles, okay, almost every day. You can find it on my Facebook. Okay, even I'm not a big Facebook user, but I had the feelings that we have to express it. But how we are actually, we are challenging, how we are touching, or how we are going to approach the problem. The key that we have to learn and study, especially myself, I'm not talking about somebody else, but myself, to listen to each other. While you are listening, you are already resolving 50% of the problem. 50% of the problem. It's the same when you are asking a question, as the teachers educated will attest it, that the answer is already 50% of the question. If you know exactly, as I mentioned once before, if you ask the right question, you will get the right answer. But the most important actually to feel it, to which direction we are going. And now here, IWRI, this forum is bringing us, okay, from a point from the Corona, and we are just about start to what is called, call it in the social media, back to normal, that is far away from back to normal. It for sure not the previous normal. It will be a new normal, but this new normal, we can actually guide it, or we can actually lead it. We are here. That is a forum, as Dr. Ann and Sasha Angelo, my friend, mentioned beforehand. Okay, that is a forum that can make the change. So how we are going to resolve, answering the question, the problems, conflict to solutions, roundtable workshops, connection circles. That exactly that we have actually to once again to post and show and demonstrate and explain, and every activity, what we are doing, record every activity, every discussion, and everything that we are building together, even these meetings that we are running together, okay, post them on the internet, record the meetings, post it, to see how the people were going to react, and somebody will see that somebody, other people are caring about our future. Because if we try to see what to the point that we came now with the Corona, is a complete global failure. We are offering a global solution. And the solution, it for sure, if we are not able to start to listen to each other and consider each other, we are not going nowhere. But let's start with the soft, with the people that are ready to listen and ready to collaborate with us. This one, we have one circle, later on another circle, and slowly but surely, we start this whole transformation from the pre-Corona times to the new future, to this brand new world that we already experienced and feel together. Thank you so much. Sorry for the long story.
May I offer an answer to this question? Again, it's about conflicts and disasters, right? So I'm actually, I gave a presentation yesterday about aesthetics, and I'm actually in the middle of my next paper that I think relates to this topic that I think is a very important one. And again, so I'm working through this topic of sort of goodness, love, beauty, all of these sort of positive sides, right, of maybe integrality and harmony. But I think it's very important to be realistic and also kind of forward thinking that there will be conflict and disaster, and this must also be an essential part of integrality, that really there must be this the thesis, antithesis, and the synthesis as we continuously reveal greater forms of integrality. So again, I offer kind of the importance of this philosophical perspective on the disasters and crises that really allows us to maybe become more detached from the difficulty of these states, in order to accelerate the synthesis, the expansion of integrality in its positive manifestation. So the crises and disasters are sort of the negative manifestations, and really it's our human agency, which I think really we can implement through proper use of consciousness and actually free. This is the free will aspect. This is kind of our free choice to use our consciousness, our really highest human faculties, to accelerate our transitions through these negative phases. So that's kind of my current work, and I hope I'll be able to present a fuller version of it soon. Thank you.
Я могу добавить, что, наверное,
I can add
сегодня,
that's probably
вот в
today,
эти месяцы, в эти дни,
this
мы как раз
month, these
получили
days,
очень мощный биологический
we
сигнал.
received
До этого мы
huge
получали
biological signal.
кризисы экономические,
Before that, there were
экологические,
crises
которые
of
лежали как бы вне нас.
economical, biological nature that were kind of like outside of us. Now we're touched directly. This is the theme that became a subject of modern research. That's a human being with his demands, and the human being can reach the harmony with nature. We don't care how it happened and what forces were involved. The most important thing that the humanity should realize that it's not a chance. This is a nature signaling us that governs everything. We should pay attention in our relationship because that's the root of the whole problem. And so to solve that problem, we need to look at the problem from the point that we're united. We should be united not only in the material world and our movements throughout the world, not just a social network, not just the participating in social network and promote your ideas, but we need to understand that we're not just bodies. We're united, universal consciousness that are ready to move to another new world. We need to realize that we're united system. The world cannot be happy when the child is crying. And this is metaphor. We need to feel that we're one body, one biological body. That's what the scientists were talking about. Today we became a system where everything is interconnected. So we fell behind. We think about our own feelings and demands, but we need to see the unity, and that's our goal. We need to feel, to see, to sense this connection, and then we'll be ready. Then we'll be ready to overcome this sociological barrier that's within us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor. So I believe we have just a few minutes. Mr. Igunse, would you like to pose your question? I think you're muted.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we're running out of time. Maybe, Professor Ephraim, do we have time maybe after?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good day. Thank you for this privilege. Do I have up to 3 to 5 minutes to?
I think 2, if you don't mind. We've already gone over our time. But if you could ask your question, or if you would like to make a comment, of course, but could you limit it to maybe 1 or 2 minutes, please? Oh, you were muted. Okay, now you're okay. Oh, now you're okay.
All right. Thank you so much for the privilege. Yesterday, I was trying to make an input and ask a question at the same time, but I'll go quickly to the point. We're talking about Ubuntu, integral. We're talking about, what affects our world and humanity. And we're looking at the situation we have at hand now. So I'll go to the point. I asked, what is a scientific explanation to this pandemic? And I asked that, do viruses exist by nature? What are their behaviors and their transmission to humans? Then I asked, does this just occur suddenly? What are the time frames? I asked, what is the human influence on their mutation and transmission? Then the second one, we are faced with the reality of the new normal. And it is really new normal, or are we used as experiment to fulfill an agenda, or someone or some people, are trying to project their agenda, like I said. Now, we research, we educate, we formulate systems and strategies to improve life and humanity. But are these based on Ubuntu, or are we just going to be formulating systems or playing catch up to suit those that are in control because of our unpreparedness as a result of abnormality called the new normal? Now, somebody mentioned that yesterday when he was talking about the beauty of the celebrities, and I put it like this: the celebrities were drafted in to become teachers, and teachers were relegated to the background, neglecting their expertise, their training, their professions. This seems beautiful and creative, but is it normal or a process of gradualism to introduce an agenda? The former is perceived to have a voice because they are image, they have image, and these are people that we look up to because they have followership. Of course, the followership, but the later, which is the teachers, they are voiceless. They train a lot of people, they raise a lot of people, embedded in their researches and training and raising up the celebrities. Now we have the lawmakers, we have the unseen powers, we have people that direct what is happening in our world today. Probably, maybe if I have time, some other time, I can dwell in that. I think this is my question. Thank you so much.
And thank you. Thank you so much for waiting. Well, before we conclude, I would like to thank all the translators and interpreters. We have, in the last 2 days, had quite a few people helping us out behind the scenes. So a big thank you to Sergey Tukubayev, Lola Tomas, Avital Lishitz, Natalia Kulkavin, Ernest Itzkovich, and Karen Levin. So, Professor, would you like to say a few words in closing? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alina. And I would like also to thank you for so nice moderation. I would like also to add my thanks to all the presenters and all the listeners. I have already got many feedback from people who has listened to all the presentations, and people want us to continue such kind of meetings, and we actually intend to do this. This time you have seen and you have listened presentations from the people who are fellows of our institute or close collaborators. And then maybe next time we will invite some external persons, professors, specialists in education and in different kind of fields, like we have done these 2 days. And we would like to have really multi connections with the external people who are doing the same actually thing that our institute is trying to develop. So the integral point of view of the how we can solve the crises, how we can develop our world to be a better place for our next generation. This is really a very, very important point. And when we are trying to do it using our integral methodology that we are developing on fully scientifically proved base, it should work, especially if we are trying to connect all different people from all corners of the world, from different cultures, from different nations, different religions. We're trying to solve together all these very hard world problems, and we will be successful. There is no doubt. Thank you very much again, and please let us continue together further. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And I want to say thanks to all the friends that I invited that came.
Thank you.
Especially to Godfred, Akim, Francis, Isaac. These are Africans that came to support the project. And I hope they will come more and more as we
will come more and more. We are very grateful and will come more and more to be part of this wonderful society.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for everybody. Amazing.
And also to Jasmine. Jasmine, you're amazing. You're beautiful.
You're great. Thanks. Thank you. Great. You did really good.
Yes, Jasmine is part of our social media team, and we want to thank the tech team as well and all the IWRI collaborators and supporters.
Translators.
And the translators. Thank you.